Wheels of Justice, Monday at 5:30.
I'm Gene Siskel. You're about to see a repeat of our show from a year ago called Hollywood's Hidden Stars, featuring 4 actors who we both believe deserve but have yet to receive major recognition. At the end of the show, Roger and I will return to comment on what's happened to these actors and actresses since our original broadcast. One of them received a major Oscar nomination.
Just jump in bed with you. I want to make love to you.
Tommy Lee Jones.
I hook up with one guy a season. Usually takes me a couple weeks to pick the guy. It's kind of my own spring training. And well, you two are the most promising prospects of the season so far.
Susan Sarandon.
If you decide not to volunteer, it will not be held against you in any way.
Sounds dangerous.
It is. Very dangerous.
Count me in.
Scott Glenn.
The minute you told me I had a terrific smile, no real producer would tell me that in a million years.
Melanie Griffith. What do all 4 of these stars have in common? Well, we both think they don't get the credit they deserve. They've done a lot of good work in a lot of good movies over more than a decade, and they've rarely disappointed us. They're overlooked stars you can count on, and they're the subject of this special edition of Siskel and Ebert. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Tommy Lee Jones is my first choice of someone who has rarely let me down. He's often been cast as a so-called hick. But would you believe that this hick graduated from Harvard? There is an intelligence and power and unpredictability in Jones's work, and you can see that early in his career, back in 1976 in the thriller Jackson County Jail, where Jones was cast as a convict who breaks out of jail, taking an innocent Hollywood career woman, Yvette Mimieux, with him.
I'm a thief because I want to be a thief. I don't want to be nothing else. And there's nothing wrong with being a crook. Everybody's crooked. I never met a straight person in my whole life. The whole goddamn country is a rip-off, and everybody in it.
But the film that brought Jones his greatest acclaim to date, his biggest hit, is Coal Miner's Daughter, playing the husband of Sissy Spacek as country singer Loretta Lynn. The husband and wife have plenty of problems, and Jones is brilliant, bringing out the tough yet tender character of his part.
Baby, what I think I'm going to do is get me a job somewhere, driving a truck or being a mechanic or doing something that I'm good at.
You're good at managing me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
Getting here's one thing and being here's another. My job's done, baby. I'll just get me another one.
In 1982, Tommy Lee Jones gave a sensational performance as the killer Gary Gilmore in the film of Norman Mailer's book, The Executioner's Song. He's repellent, yet we can't take our eyes off him, and we can understand why a girl, Rosanna Arquette, might fall for him.
I didn't know it, but that man was my guardian angel. And I lost him a long time ago. When you came in here tonight, I said to myself, boy, you got your guardian angel back.
This year, Tommy Lee Jones turned in another piece of fine work in the thriller Storming Monday, starring as a ruthless Texan out to redevelop a working-class English town. He has fun with this villainous role.
Well, that's good work, John. Anything negative at this point, and the project becomes another British almost happened. The company takes off for Rotterdam or Antwerp.
Quite so, Mr. Cosmo, sure will never come to that. And is our friend still being difficult?
every single performance a winner. Tremendous consistency in his work. You can't find a fault in what he's doing. Tommy Lee Jones was very good at the beginning of his career, but he seems to be getting now more comfortable with himself as the years pass. I think he's on the verge now of breaking out as a very popular star as well as a fine actor. But he's such a strong, confident actor, maybe he isn't interested in stardom. In that case, more power to him if it's true.
Well, you know, Gene, he is willing to take supporting roles. And a year ago, we saw him in the movie The Big Town, remember, with Matt Dillon?
Yes.
And he plays the professional gambler who's running the card game and the roulette wheel there. The amazing thing about that role, which was a very small role, is that he took all of his ability in order to just stand there behind that, I guess it was a dice table.
That's correct.
And just sort of emanate evil and emanate threat. There wasn't any scene to develop in or kind of explain him. It was just there from the beginning, and that's something that Tommy Lee Jones can bring to a role.
I said this before, when I watch his work, I can't find fault with him. He's a real presence that very few actors have. He doesn't showboat it, it's just there.
You know, when you mentioned the Executioner song, that was one of the very few made-for-television movies we've ever reviewed on our show, and it was because it was so good, and I've seen it since then on a movie screen. That is probably the great lost film in his career, because since it was on television, oddly enough, it's the most seen of all Tommy Lee Jones's films in a way, but at the same time, the one that movie fans may not have seen because it was on TV.
Well, they also didn't get to see, like we did, the European version, which played in theaters, and that's the real juicy part, because it's just a better film. It's not edited.
That's right. When we come back, we'll take a look at the career of Susan Sarandon, an actress who makes a specialty out of combining eroticism and humor.
Uncontrollable appetite in every department.
It's not good for you.
Sharp, the only 12-to-1 zoom camcorder, that's who. Sharp, so fully automatic, just turn it on and shoot. The Sharp 12-to-1 zoom camcorder, that's who. While most camcorders stop here, only the Sharp 12-to-1 zoom keeps zooming all the way to here. Beautiful, even in low light. Sharp, the only 12-to-1 zoom. Nobody gets you closer to the ones you love than Sharp. From Sharp Minds come Sharp products.
Señores y señoritas, fajitas. New from Weight Watchers. ¡Qué bueno!
Today's Duracell batteries last up to 30% longer than the ones from a few years back. Duracell. You can't top the copper top.
There are a lot of gasoline credit cards, and a lot of them are the same. But this one is different. The difference is, you don't pay more than the cash price. The difference is, you get the best-selling gasolines in America. The difference is the people behind the card. Shell. Experience the difference.
Nissan dealers are still running the Nissan Marathon, and lucky for you, they haven't run out of gas. They're still passing along up to $1,500 in dealer cash incentives on Sentra, and up to $2,000 on every Nissan hard-body truck. There are plenty of great deals left on the Maxima, the most trouble-free car sold in the U.S., and the incredible 240SX. But see your Nissan dealer today, because on September 5th, you'll be out of the running. The Nissan Marathon, the best event we've ever run.
Continuing this special edition of Siskel and Ebert about Hollywood's hidden stars, stars that we think are unjustly overlooked and don't get the attention they deserve, even though, of course, as stars, they're not exactly anonymous. Occasionally an actress comes along who seems to bring a sort of secret smile to her roles. She can be serious when she has to be, but she seems happiest when there's a wickedly humorous undercurrent to her material, and Susan Sarandon is an actress like that. She's got the kind of intelligence that directors look for when a role presents problems, when it's tricky, when it's complicated, or involves a lot of psychological depth. But not all of these qualities were obvious in Sarandon's first important screen role, a role that not many people even remember she played, as the drug-addicted daughter of a wealthy New York executive in the movie Joe. Sarandon's overdose leads her father to kill her boyfriend, a murder he tries to hide.
Why didn't you tell me about Frank? Why didn't you tell me Frank was dead?
Because we didn't want to upset you. Not while you were in the hospital.
Oh, is that the reason?
Certainly, you were just coming down from the drugs.
Was the subject too painful?
The most famous and controversial movie in Sarandon's early career was Louis Malle's Pretty Baby in the early 70s, where she played a New Orleans prostitute who was raising her daughter right in the bordello. Now that is Brooke Shields in her first major screen role there.
I hate you. If it weren't for you, I would have been out of here a long time ago. Oh, you're so selfish. This isn't fair. Why does everybody else get to do everything they want to do right here except me? Just when I get a chance to do for myself.
This is from the 1980 movie Atlantic City, and it's possibly the most famous scene in Sarandon's career as she cools herself on a hot New Jersey night while Burt Lancaster looks on. Later in the film, she has a brief love affair with Lancaster as these two people find they have more problems than they can share.
Who was Bugsy Siegel?
Oh, the meanest, the coldest.
And he was your cellmate?
Well, I gotta be honest. I was the slammer on a D&D.
What's that?
The D&D, Drunk and Disorderly. And they brought Bugsy in for about 10 minutes on the way to Leavenworth. Man, was he pissed off. He didn't even know me.
That's all?
I never killed anybody in my life.
I never thought you did.
And here is Susan Sarandon in the 1987 hit The Witches of Eastwick. She's up against a sly old devil played by Jack Nicholson, and for once, Nicholson meets his match. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to upstage Jack Nicholson, but I think she just about does there. Whenever I see Susan Sarandon's name on a movie, I know one thing right away, and that is that the character she plays is not going to be boring and is not going to be routine. Her people are always very complicated, and they usually face their problems with a certain offbeat, wry humor. They always have an angle on things. And that's certainly the case with her hit film Bull Durham, where she plays a baseball fan who picks a new lover every season from her local baseball team. The feeling you get in every Sarandon performance is that someone is at home there. They're thinking, they're figuring, and they're checking the angles.
You know what's happened with her? The movies have finally caught up to Susan Sarandon, because we went through a whole era in the middle of her career where movies went from being intelligent and challenging and erotic to being for teenagers, and those weren't Sarandon years. Now movies are getting more adult, and Sarandon is right there in full power. And Bull Durham calls on everything an actress could want. It is one of the most complicated, challenging parts that an actress could do, and she delivers exactly.
You know, it's a good point, Gene, because she has that adult intelligence.
Yes.
She simply couldn't play the kind of roles that were around, like Molly Ringwald's mother or something.
You got it.
Where she's got to be kind of the dunce and the kids are bright. She's going to be brighter than any kid that she ever has in the movies,
right.
and brighter than most of the other people in the films, too. So it takes an intelligent screenplay, an intelligent direction, to make an intelligent actress look good.
And just
must have been hard for her, all the roles she's probably had to turn down.
Yeah. The staying power, again, just like Tommy Lee Jones, this is well over a decade now, and the consistency is there. I'm glad the movies are equal to her. Coming up next, an actor who's played everything from a contemporary cowboy to one of the original Mercury 7 astronauts.
That is a spacecraft, sir. We do not refer to it as a capsule.
I always lower my eyes when a man passes. See if he's worth following.
Sanserbelt Limited at Hex.
The Baltimore Film Forum presents a series of films by photographers on Thursday evenings. The series includes The Shadowcatcher, Les Trois de Mer, In Lichtspiel Schwarz-Weiß-Grau, The Sin of Jesus, Candy Mountain, Los Niños Abandonados, and Born to Film. Showtime is 8 p.m. at the Baltimore Museum of Art. Tickets are $4. For details, call 889-1993.
Your Jeep Eagle dealers just doubled your savings. We've doubled your cashback savings during double cashback days. Now get $2,000 cashback or 0% financing on Eagle Premier. Now get $1,000 cashback or special financing on Eagle Summit. For double cashback direct from Chrysler, see your Jeep Eagle dealer now. But hurry, with savings like these, everything's gonna go double fast.
See your local Jeep Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
All men are alike until they put their pants on.
Sansabelt Limited at Hex.
Touchstone Home Video presents the movie critics are hailing, Beaches, 4 stars. It's a hit from coast to coast.
Wasn't that something?
And Bette Midler is wonderful. Take home the laughter and music. Beaches on video cassette, now available.
Coming to video stores everywhere, Tom Cruise in a video event you've been waiting for. Cocktail. Rent it now.
And continuing our special program on Hollywood's overlooked stars, our next hidden star is Scott Glenn, who has provided rock-solid, completely authoritative characters, everything from kung fu mystics to astronauts. Glenn has the kind of lean and chiseled face that sometimes lends itself to playing villains, sort of like Tommy Lee Jones. He was the guy who wanted to drive the farmers off their land in the river, for example, and that was a typical kind of character that he's given. But he has a kind of meditative, mystical side, too, and he always seems to know more than he's telling. One of his earlier and less-known movies is a real sleeper named The Challenge. This is one you probably saw an ad for in the paper and thought, gee, that's the kind of movie I don't want to come anywhere near, where he plays a boxer from America who gets trapped in a Japanese conflict over the ownership of a symbolic sword.
Take the sword out of your belt. Do it now! You won. Just do it! Damn it, do it! Take it out and hold it in front of you. Take it out! I'm ready to collect my pay. You come up here and get the sword out of his hand.
Well, you're not the dumb schmuck I thought you were.
One of Scott Glenn's most famous roles was in Urban Cowboy, where he was the barroom bad guy who tried to take Deborah Winger away from John Travolta. He was the personification here of danger and anger in this scene.
That serious? Pick it up.
Pick it up yourself.
Pick it up.
Glenn did a complete turnabout in the 1982 film Personal Best, where he was a dedicated and inspirational track coach trying to talk Mariel Hemingway through a pre-Olympics depression.
You really think you know it all, don't you?
No. No, like one thing I don't know. I don't know what scares you more. Getting beat by Tori Skinner or beating her. Moscow in 80.
And in The Right Stuff, one of the most unfairly overlooked movies and performances of all time, Scott Glenn played astronaut Alan Shepard, who thought he was harder and tougher than the other guys and kind of a lone wolf.
Mr. Glenn, you are way out of line. I'd advise you not to try to foist your view of morality on anybody else in this group. Each man here has volunteered to do a job. Each man here is devoting long hours of training to prepare for it.
And that would be a typical Scott Glenn role there, where even among the Mercury 7, even among these tough professional test pilot astronauts, he'd be the one they'd cast as the toughest one, the one who thought the other ones were wimps. A lot of actors can play conventional leading men, but not many are as good as Scott Glenn at playing the off-center types, men who are not villains, but who are not simple and not uncomplicated heroes either. A lot of his characters give you the feeling they've done things they aren't too proud of, maybe, and they're afraid they might do them again. There's an inner tension based on a need to prove things to themselves. Glenn is very good at quiet scenes, and even in violent confrontations like that scene in Urban Cowboy, the angrier he gets, the quieter he talks.
That's the thing that interests me. This guy scares me, but yet he isn't fulminating. He isn't exploding. He's imploding. I can see it happening there, and I don't want to be around him. You see, I'm talking like I'm in one of his movies.
Yeah.
That's how good he is. It's chilling. He has the power to turn it on without going over the top.
Look at Urban Cowboy, for example. Look at the tension he brings to that character. And what could they have done? They're shooting down at Gillies down in Texas, where the whole bar room is probably filled with blustering, loud, tall, muscular guys who come in and, you know, break off a beer can and go after you or something. This guy just sits there very quiet, very controlled, and he's more menacing than anybody in the room.
Well, you know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of, there's an Eastwood-like quality in that, don't mess with me. And I think what you say about his character seeming to have a past history, I think that's always true with him. And yet he did that tender role in Personal Best, so we know he's a complete actor. Coming up next, a 30-year-old actress whose career has accelerated from being just another pretty face to being an exciting, risk-taking young actress.
You don't turn around and take me back, you're going to make me do something that I don't want to do.
I can hardly wait, Charlie.
Orville Redenbacher and his grandson, Gary.
Well, popcorn is a fun item. Now, since we got the microwave flavors, it's made it much more interesting.
It seems only right to flavor it with real ingredients.
People wanted good, substantial flavors. Sour cream and onion, the cheddar cheese, nacho, caramel.
I wouldn't think of eating anything else other than Grandpa's popcorn with real ingredients.
And if he ever thought of eating anything else, he'd be disinherited anyway, so...
Pain that throbs, aches, pain that pulses. Remember, there is a wonder drug for pain like this. The wonder drug doctors themselves take more often for pain. The wonder drug doctors take more than extra strength Tylenol, more than Advil. More doctors take Bayer for pain. Bayer is the wonder drug that works wonders.
The Hub Furniture Centers wanted to do something really spectacular for their Labor Day sale. So how about this? You can buy all the furniture you need with no finance charges for 1 full year, or take an extra 10% discount for cash. And that applies to anything you buy. Choose from the latest looks, the famous brands, whatever you like. You won't find lower prices anywhere. And now, no finance charges for 1 full year, or 10% off for cash in the Labor Day sale, now through Monday 10 to 9 at the Hub.
Hi, I'm Dave Schmidt.
And I'm Debbie Schmidt. On Thursday, September 21st, join us for the Orioles Wives Black Tie Cruise for Kids to benefit the Johns Hopkins Children's Center. Join Dave and his friends, Bob Melvin, Bob Malacki, Larry Sheets, Mickey Tettleton, and many other Oriole players aboard the Bay Lady for an evening of dining and dancing.
So call today for your tickets at 955-8767 and help us help the Johns Hopkins Children's Center.
Thank you.
Our final choice of an unsung star who rarely lets us down is actress Melanie Griffith. I first spotted her in possibly her first film in 1975 when she was just 17. She appeared as the character of Miss Simi Valley in the beauty pageant comedy Smile, a wonderful film which sadly is not on video but should be. Griffith easily could have been yesterday's blonde, just a body, but she's used her body and her intensity and her cockiness to great advantage in many subsequent films, including another fine picture from 75, The Mystery Night Moves, with Detective Gene Hackman protecting Griffith.
Did you come to get your shirt back?
No. No, I came to tell you that I'm a private detective, hired by your mother, to take you back to L.A.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
Well, you can forget it. You're not going back to that bitch!
9 years later, Griffith was taking leading roles, including a sexy, confident one in Brian De Palma's thriller called Body Double. She played an actress in danger.
Just come with me to the police.
To the police?
Yes.
Are you crazy? You listen to me, you weirdo.
A woman was
I'm
murdered.
gonna leave now, and don't you try following me home because I have friends who will break your legs, all right?
Ow!
Follow me! God! Weirdo!
In 1986, Griffith was no longer the girl under attack. She was the tease, taking uptight yuppie Jeff Daniels for the ride of his life in the great film Something Wild.
You've been married a long time?
Just tell me where we're going, all right?
How many kids do you have, Charlie?
That's not your concern.
Come on, let's see the pictures.
What makes you think I get pictures of my kids?
Are you afraid of me, Charlie?
And this year, Melanie Griffith played Tommy Lee Jones's kept woman in the offbeat thriller Stormy Monday.
Can I talk to you?
Sure.
Hello.
Bob, what time are we supposed to meet, what's his name?
Councilor Perry's waiting for us in the office now.
Katie, can you wait until tomorrow? Until after the luncheon, you and I can go someplace nice and intimate and talk.
I suppose the title Something Wild really best describes the on-screen image of Melanie Griffith. That's what I think of when I'm going to see one of her movies. I like risk-takers who use their bodies and their emotions, and that's what this young actress really does. She is quite special.
You know, I think it's interesting here that we end with a clip that shows Tommy Lee Jones and Melanie Griffith together, two of our overlooked stars, because frequently in their careers, they've been in good but overlooked movies. They've had the occasional success, like Tommy Lee Jones with Coal Miner's Daughter, or to a degree, Something Wild was a success. But in movie after movie, including in her case, Body Double, they haven't done it at the box office in the way that you might think they would, considering how good the movies were. And I, of course, like Body Double better than you did, but
I liked her.
You liked her in it. There's that long Hitchcock-type scene in there that De Palma does, where we just see her face as she's being trailed by a man. And the acting that she does there is, in a way, kind of harder sometimes than reading a lot of dialogue to emanate that sense of danger and threat.
Look at the people we've just named, and wouldn't you like to have them in one movie? Scott Glenn, Melanie Griffith, Tommy Lee Jones, Susan Sarandon. What we're talking about: one, brain power; two, sexiness; anger, pushing strong emotions. That's what I find lacking in most movies. Movies that travel a narrow emotional range, these people are genuinely exciting.
You have probably described the cast of a movie that could not be written. In fact, it would be a real challenge to a writer to create a movie where those four people would all be in the film, because think of the tension. I mean, if you have those four people in a room, the secrets, the ways they have of suggesting there's more there than meets the eye, the sexual tension that you'd have going on in that room, it would be a heck of a movie, I'm telling you, with those four people in it.
You know the movie that would come closest to capturing it? Something Wild, because all four of these people are pretty wild.
And that's how Hollywood's hidden stars looked when we first taped it a year and a half ago. Well, since then, of course, all of those stars have been busy making movies, but one of them in particular has had a very good year, and that's Melanie Griffith, who got an Academy Award nomination for her starring role in Working Girls. So she is not so hidden anymore.
And Susan Sarandon's on the cover of Esquire magazine in the September issue, and Tommy Lee Jones has a big role and a fine role that he does in The Package. That's it for this week. Next week we'll be back with a repeat of one of our favorite programs. We call it Hail, Hail, Black and White, and it's a celebration of black and white movies, an art form we love so much. We tape the entire program in black and white. Until then, the balcony is closed.
Nestle Crunch. It's creamy milk chocolate and crispy crunchies. Chocolate is scrunchious when it crunches. That's why you'll love Nestle Crunch. The Plockman family has been making quality mustard since 1852. Enjoy their mild yellow, Dijon, and stone ground mustards. Pledge. With Pledge, dusting can be beautiful. Now available in Spring Fresh Scent. Give your home a splash of color and a scent of magic with Color Sense waste bags by Ruffy's. Perfect for the bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen. Color Sense.